Did you know that Westminster MPs claimed £93 million in expenses last year? 93 million in expenses. No wonder democratic government is struggling to gain a foothold in many parts of the world. Who can afford it? Apparently, we can. Here in the UK, we're so in love with the idea of being governed to death that we keep electing more and more people to run our lives for us. Right at the top of the pile, we have the European Parliament. There's 785 MEPs meeting in some style in Brussels and Strasbourg. 72 of them represent the UK, including 3 from Northern Ireland. Then we have 646 MPs in Westminster, including the 18 from here, flying backwards and forwards if they choose to go, and entitled to keep a second home in London at your expense. And as if that weren't enough, we decided a few years ago to have a regional assembly and elected 108 MLAs to sit up in Stormont. And we haven't even discussed our 26 local councils and their 582 councillors. Supporting one tier of government is horrendously expensive, but we just keep piling on the layers, and money apparently is no object. With a country in deep recession and Bombardier just the latest in a long line of companies shrinking and laying off workers, perhaps Alistair Darling would consider saving the taxpayer a few million quid by paying off a couple of hundred MPs, or even putting the whole of Westminster on a 3-day week. Although, judging by the empty seats in the Commons, they appear to be operating that already. The current row over MPs' expenses is only symptomatic of a deeper unrest about the whole cost of government and a public perception that the gravy train is getting longer and richer, and it's in Parliament's own interest to sort it out quickly. The suggestion that these MPs are inflating their allowances because they are underpaid is offensive to most people. A backbencher's salary is about 2.5 times the national average. And let's face it, to be a backbencher, you only need to be average. We're not asking them to put a man on the moon or discover a cure for cancer. And let's expose that other old chestnut, that if you want the best people, you have to pay top wages, for the specious lie that it is. Is anyone seriously suggesting that nurses of a generation or two ago, when they were being paid buttons, were any less dedicated, competent or professional than they are today? I'm not arguing that we go back to low wages. Nurses, teachers and the others deserve every penny they get. But certain professions aren't about the money, and politics ought to be one of them. We need men and women to go into politics because they genuinely want to improve society. And to be fair, many of them are there for that very reason. But it's also clear that some of them want the perks of the boardroom for representing the man in the street. And as this recession deepens, that's increasingly where the man in the street finds himself, on the street. MPs need to realise that in the economic climate they've created, they're lucky to have a job, never mind an expense account.